We got the action man, Chris Curtis, back here on the program. Who's going to be taking on Rodolfo Vieira at UFC Fight Night next Saturday. Chris, how's it going?
I am going well. It's going well. It's going great now that I'm last day of training. Is hard training today, so I'm very excited about that. It's
I
been a
bet.
long camp, and I'm very over it.
Yeah, no, I bet, man. And I know you had to get some blood work done today. Everything good to go for next Saturday? Everything all ready?
Yeah, we're good, man. It's just I'm just this is like a 5-month camp now because of the other fight cancellations. So I want to fight. I'm over it. So
Yeah.
a few more days and it's go time.
Yeah, I was going to say, what happened for those who might not know with the fight with Dracus? Why did that get moved? That was supposed to take place at UFC 273.
Oh, one of my 2 weeks out, one of my last sparring sessions, I fractured both sides of my wrist actually.
Oh, shoot.
I threw a punch my sparring partner threw a kick, fractured both sides of my wrist, and they're like, "Yeah, we can't clear you to fight with that." So,
oh, damn.
all that work down the drain.
How when were you actually able to get back to training after the injury?
I trained the next day. I just started training with one hand. I was pissed about it. I wanted to get back in as soon as possible, so I didn't take any time off. I started training with one hand, and it was about 4 to 5 weeks before it was strong enough for me to start using it again, and then I had to go through rehab, so PIs and rehab on that. But I never actually stopped training,
Okay.
which was good, but at the same time, which is why this has been like a 5-month camp, and I'm so over it.
No, I bet. And then, yeah, it seemed like you got plenty of notice for this fight. When did you find out?
I don't even remember, man. It's been all the days of bleeding together. But I think
But full camp though, by the sounds of it, right?
Well, it's been 6 and 8 weeks. So I had a full camp for it. It's totally fine. But man, oh man, all the days of bleeding together at this point. But I had 8 weeks, I think.
Okay, fair enough. And you're taking on Vieira, obviously good ground guy, but we've seen him get submitted before. How do you feel like you match up against him here?
Probably not going to submit Rodolfo Vieira.
I was going to say, yeah.
My guys, I very seriously doubt I'm going to submit Rodolfo Vieira. It's a very classic style fight, man. Striker versus grappler. I think it comes down to it is that it's going to come down to who's with a better wrestling. Better wrestling, better conditioning. And I think I have the better wrestling and better conditioning, so we'll see. I just need to knock him out before he strangles me unconscious. So we are both racing against the clock to see who gets there first.
How much will experience play into this? I know you got probably more fights than most guys on the roster, but how much will that help in here? Because he's only got 9 pro fights.
He's got 1,000,001 grappling matches, but fighting's different. Fighting's a whole different animal, and I'm very comfortable in fights, man. I'm very comfortable with violence. I don't think he's quite as comfortable in a fight setting yet. So I think that'll be a huge thing. People are like, "Oh, he's so much bigger. You're undersized." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going to be smaller, but I've been in this. I've made that walk so many times. Exactly four times than he has. So I know that I'm confident. I know that this is what I do, and I love fighting. So I think it's going to play a huge part.
Training camp. I know you're in Vegas. Who've been some of the main guys you've been working with? Obviously, your buddy Sean Strickland. Who else you get to work with?
Sean Strickland's been there as always. Albert Durev has actually been a really, really, really good training partner for this. I don't know if you guys know.
Yeah, he's fighting this weekend at the time of recording this, right? Yeah, he's fighting Joaquin Buckley, right?
Yeah, dude, Albert Durev is I call him the most oppressive top grappler I've ever dealt with my entire life. So if Albert gets on top of you, it's just miserable. It's not fun. So I've had weeks of getting beat up by Albert, dealing with that. Tito Labra's out here right now. Uncle Ayaz is actually here, so he's been helping. He's been fun to work with. I've got Brad Tavares is here still. I got one of the greatest root. Sada Busi from PFL is working right now. So we've got a great room of bigger guys to do this with. Vinny Magalesh is actually coming to help out. So I've got everyone I could want to do this.
That's awesome. What about the weight cut? Do you have to cut any weight for this fight? Because I know you typically have fought at welterweight most of your career.
I walk around normally before about 98, 197. I put on 6 pounds of muscle in 3 months for
Awesome.
conditioning, and then diet's been fine. Whatever. I don't have to struggle. I don't have to starve myself. Today I woke up at 196 pounds. So 10 pounds out, like, and I'm gonna go have a giant lunch. I'm gonna have a giant dinner. Uh, and I'll eat all next week. I'm on full water. I'll eat every day next week. I won't, I'll probably stop eating Thursday night to for weigh-ins. So the weight's gonna be easy, and I'm gonna go into the fight like fairly rested and like not depleted. So I'm kind of banking on that as well. Like I know he's a big guy. He's got to lose a lot of weight to make that weight. So we're kind of banking on. I'm never gonna be as strong as Rodolfo Vieira, but I can be able to outwork him.
Who's going to be in your corner for this fight?
Uh, Nate Pettit, Eric Nitzik, and of course Sean Strickland. Like,
Oh, Strickland is going to be in your corner because he's fighting the week after, right?
Yeah, it's in Vegas though. He lives
Yeah.
here.
Oh, yeah. I guess so. Yeah. That's true.
It's not really. He's not really doing me a huge favor. I'm like Sean. Like he's also like 5 minutes from the PI. I'm like, bro, just show up. Like it's fine.
There you go. How's this fight playing out on June 25th?
I think he's gonna come out. We're gonna touch gloves. He's gonna come out. He's gonna start shooting a lot. He's gonna want to press me into the cage. He's gonna want to, just from what I've seen, he's gonna want to just hold me, either take me down or press me into the cage and hold me there, do some damage. But I think he's gonna be really surprised with the footwork and then wrestling defense. I think my wrestling beats his wrestling. I think I TKO him in 2 rounds.
I imagine you want to get a fight or two after this if you can, because I know you like keeping active. And you being in Vegas, it's pretty convenient, I would imagine.
Dude, I want to, like, if all goes well, I win this fight, I don't get hurt. I think there's like one in Arizona soon that I want to get on. I want to get 2 fights back to back, have a quick break, and then maybe fight, you know, October, December, or November, December. I want to get full. It sucks not having a fight this year after like being so active. So if I can try to squeeze in 4 fights this year, man, I will. So I will definitely try my ass off to squeeze in at least 3 or 4 this year.
Love it. I talked about your buddy Sean Strickland. What do you make of them putting Alex Pereira against him with the obvious? I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. The UFC wants Pereira to win so he can fight Adesanya because of their history in kickboxing. What do you think of that as an outsider?
It's weird. You know what's happening. You know the fight they're trying to make, but they need Pereira to have a legitimate win. Like, who has he beaten so far? Like Bruno Silva. There's nothing, not Bruno Silva, but like he's unranked completely.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't even know the first guy he fought. Like who that guy was.
Yeah, I can't remember. Either.
It was Jordan Wright, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So once again, they're really trying to get him a meaningful opponent, but I think this was probably handled in the weirdest way. I'm guessing they hope that Strickland can't knock him out because Strickland's not a knockout puncher. But people also forget that Strickland's a jiu-jitsu black belt, and ever since the Usman fight, I'm telling you guys, like this dude has become one of the better wrestlers in the division. So like I think they kind of rolled dice on the wrong stat sheet on this one. So we all see what they're doing. I just think it was a bad decision.
And by the way, that was Andre Michelinas he fought in his debut, not Jordan Wright. Jordan Wright fought Bruno Souza, his, I think, last fight or something. So that's maybe why there was the mix-up there. But I'm surprised Sean's an underdog in that fight because Sean's more well-rounded. Like I just checked the odds today. Strickland's the underdog. So I guess, you could win some money if you put some money on Sean, right?
Well, I mean, yeah. Then again, he beat Izzy, so people are like, "Oh, he beat Izzy," but once again, this isn't kickboxing.
Yeah, exactly.
And like people, I think people get swept up in the storyline a little bit, and it happens, man. We can see bias and everything else, but I think this is a really risky bet on the UFC part because if he loses to Sean, then like, what do you do with him?
Yeah, that's true. And it's not like he's a young guy either where he could get a couple back or whatever. Okay, before we get out of here, I got to give you some credit, man. You went and did an interview with my buddy, MMA Joey. That was his first ever interview. I thought he did a great job. What was it like? Because it was kind of an interesting story. You were in his chat one time, and then you guys kind of linked up, and you ended up being his first interview.
No, it was fun, man. I love Joey, man. I'm a fan of his show. And I was talking to his chat one day. He said he didn't believe it was me, so I called him. And I talk to him all the time. He's a really good dude. He loves the sport. He loves everything that goes into it. So I was happy to be able to jump in and do the first interview for him. Like, it was fun. It was a good time. He's like, I was so nervous. I'm like, bro, you did fine. It was great. So he's a good dude. It was just really fun to be able to do that for him. And I had fun. He had fun. So it was nice to help out.
Yeah, and go check that out on the on his channel right now, MMA Joey, good dude in this industry. Chris, thanks so much for doing this, man. We're excited for this fight next Saturday, UFC Fight Night. If there's anyone you want to thank, sponsors, social media, you name it, I'll give you the last word.
Just find me, guys. You guys can find me on the Instagram and Twitter at ActionMan513. Outside of that, thanks to all my coaches and teammates, to everybody that's had to suffer through this with me, and almost showtime. We'll see you guys in a week.
Make sure to subscribe to the LowKick MMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.